as easy of looks when they have to take the ball out of the net. And so we want our offense to be able to help our defense in that situation. But I trust our guys to balance, this aggressive mentality without being wild. And they've done an unbelievable job balancing that. But we can't take our foot off the gas because they're too good offensively.
Yeah. So you've talked about trying to keep these March Madness hopes alive, and this is another step in that direction. You have another one tomorrow, but how is this team handling that challenge? Because it does just grow with every game, it seems.
Yeah, we've embraced just the opportunity as it's presented itself, and we talked about, back in the middle of February, what was at stake. Like we still had something, an opportunity for us, something to play for, and so our guys have embraced that, and our leadership has kept us focused. We've talked openly about what's at stake and how each opportunity can, help us, but we've also talked about why we've gotten and created this opportunity, and we keep focusing on those things, and I think that's why our guys have been able to handle maybe. We got tough guys, certainly, but that's why I've been able to handle it.
Okay, you had 9 guys score in the first half. Not one of them was Jameson. He has 23 in the second. What's it like to have a guy that can just flip that switch and after a quiet first half go off?
Yeah, that's a luxury, certainly. We've had to get creative to find him looks because teams are keying on him because he's such a good player.
Yeah.
And we had to find ways to get him on the move. I think he's grown his game and his ability to drive and play with force in the paint. I got to the free throw line. Seemed like was it 9 or 10 times.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like this grand speech that had to be said to him. He's a veteran. The most impressive thing about him this stretch has been his voice and his leadership and how much it's grown. So I had no doubts that he would get it going. I didn't know he was going to have 23, in the second half. But he's such a good player and such a confident player, and he's embraced this aggressiveness. So I just told him, stay aggressive.
Yeah.
And tried to find some ways to get him some better touches, and he took advantage of that and some.
Scotty had 11 in the first half, and he also had that sequence in the second where had the ball stolen from him. He goes, steals it back, saves it before going out of bounds. How often do you see that from him in practice? And then just like big picture wise, what has it been to see him kind of bounce back from a little bit of struggles midway through the year?
Scotty's a really tough kid, or young man. He's a really tough young man who he works really, really hard. Like his motor is a gift, and you've seen it impact the defensive side. I think throughout the course of the season, it was really impactful tonight. And he's playing with confidence and aggressiveness offensively. And he's worked hard on his shooting, and he's a good shooter. And we want him taking those shots every time. So. His offensive half there to start the game was really, really key for us.
The way he's shooting the ball right now, especially in this game, it made me think of Roddy last year in this tournament, where he just had that kind of look about him. Did you see anything similar in the way that he attacked this game compared to what Roddy gave you last year?
Yeah, I think Scotty's consistently been aggressive for us, and I guess in the moment I didn't probably put those two things together, but I think that's fair to assume that. Because if just like Scotty wants to win, and he's so competitive, and I'm so happy for how his game has grown these last handful of games.
You hear all this quad one talk. Tomorrow would be the quad one of all times. If you can beat them tomorrow, how big that would be? Just what's your thought? As you think about your resume and how it really could be a huge boost for you guys if you get that tomorrow.
Yeah, listen, this time of year, every game, you want to be playing meaningful games. And Illinois is a great team. They've consistently been a great team all season. So, we need this opportunity. And I still think we've got a great resume ourselves. I've admitted I'm not an expert on all of these metrics and analytics and things, but I know there's not a team more connected and having more momentum right now than what we have, and I think our body of work is good, and then we got an opportunity tomorrow to take it up to another level.
What do you remember about that first game? It felt like, I think it was double digits a good portion of the way there. It's kind of the Domask game. He kind of came, I don't know that he had a game like that prior to that, and he really came out of the woodwork, I think, in that game.
Yeah, he's a really good player. He's like a savvy vet on the court, and they have a great deal of offensive versatility on their team. And you know, he had a game like that, but then you have Terrence Shannon and his explosiveness and what he's able to do offensively. He's been shooting the ball well, and Hawkins can stretch stretch the floor, and his versatility. And I think defensively, you know, he can present some problems out there. So they have great depth. They're really well coached. We gotta get to work. You guys gotta ask me less questions so I can go and get some.
Holtman,
no, I'm kidding.
Going to DePaul. What's your thought about that? You gotta be happy for him.
Oh, so happy for him. He's too good of a coach not to be coaching. He's too good of a coach, and I've spoken before about what he means to me, he and his family, how important they are to us, and I'm really excited for him, and I think he will have a great deal of success there.
We'll grab some of your players.